Hi guys, it's me again, Dr. Diaz. Okay, and this time we're going to work on solving problems, quadratic equations. In this case, solve this problem by completing the square. Now, completing the square is a nice technique, and actually we're going to use it again when we're working on chapter 10, I think it is, when we started doing the equation for the circle. You have to use completing the square to get the equation of a circle and find their center and their radius. And it's actually a pretty neat equation. Now, for the test, since I'm not proctoring the test, and actually the test, most of those problems are in multiple choice, you don't need to use completing the square to solve this problem, because completing the square is actually a little bit long and tedious procedure. It will be much easier to use the quadratic formula. But it is good to know how to do completing the square, because like I said, solving problems of circle, conic sections, completing the square is ideal. It will help you a lot. So let's try to solve this one here. Okay, first, let me see if this works. Be in a second with you guys. Okay, so let's go. And the first thing we have to look is this one in particular. First thing I'm going to do is this 7 we're going to send to the other side. So we will have something like this. X squared minus 12x is equal to 7. Right? Then, next step, going to look at this number. The middle term, negative 12. And we're going to take this 12 and we're going to divide it by 2. And then that number we're going to square. So the process is always the same. Take the middle term, divide it by 2, and square it. So this is going to be what? Negative 6 squared is equal to positive 36. And what we're going to do with this 36, we're going to add it in this side of the equation and in this side of the equation. So we will have something like this. X squared minus 12x plus 36 is equal to 7 plus 36. The reason why we did this is because we're turning this part of the equation into a perfect square trinomial, right? Which means this one, if you want to factor, let me do it here. X squared minus 12x plus 36. If you factor this, say equal to 0. Two numbers adding up will give you negative 12. Sorry about that. And the same two numbers are multiplying will give you 36. That is negative 6 and negative 6, negative 6 and negative 6. That means that this thing factor is going to be equal to what? X minus 6 times x minus 6, or x minus 6 squared. That's precisely what I want. I turn this equation into a perfect square trinomial. So the factorization of this thing here is going to be what? X minus 6 squared is equal to 43. Right? Then what you do, you're going to solve here for x. You're going to take the square root of both sides. So this is going to be what? The square root of x minus 6 squared is equal to plus or minus square root of 43. And the square root of something squares is something, so it's actually what? X minus 6 is equal to plus or minus square root of 43. We send 6 to the other side, and we get that the solution of this equation is going to be what? 6 plus or minus square root of 43. That's actually one of the problems on the homework. This is actually 18. Oh, the review, I'm sorry. And now you see that the answer is D. Right? Yeah, sometimes this number here, 43, is a perfect square, and suppose it was 49, then you will get plus or minus 7 and stuff like that. But this one happened not to be a perfect square, but this is how you solve this problem. And actually, this is more or less how you're going to solve all the problems that it has to do with circle. It will be the general form equation of a circle. You'll be using completing the square, but we're not going to see that for this test. It's actually the third test. The third test you're going to do completing the square. The easiest way will be using the quadratic formula. And if you remember the quadratic formula, let me move this a little bit. Okay, wait. But if you want to use the quadratic formula, let me do it here. Well, quadratic formula says x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. All of these divided by 2a. Now in this case, the equation is what? X squared minus 12x minus 7. So in this case, a is the coefficient of x squared, is 1. B is the coefficient of x, is negative 12. And c is the constant, which in this case is negative 7. Then you put here in the equation, x is equal to what? Minus negative 12 square root of negative 12 squared, which is 144, minus 4 times a, which is 1 times 7, or negative 7. And all of this you divide it by 2 times 1, which is 2 times a. So now you see this one is going to give you what? Positive 12 plus or minus square root of 144 minus 28. Oh, actually it's plus 28. I'm sorry about that, because minus minus is going to be plus 28. And all then divided by 2. This is going to give you 144 times 28. It's going to be 176. Oh, no, actually, it's 172. You don't even know how to add. Okay, let me put this thing. This is going to be 12 plus or minus square root of 172 divided by 2. And 172 is actually 43 times 4. So it's going to be minus, it's positive 12, I'm sorry. Plus or minus square root of, actually it's going to be 44 times 43 divided by 2, and let me write it here. So it's going to be x is equal to 12 plus or minus 2 square root of 43 divided by 2, and now you can do divide 12 times 2 is going to be 6, and 2 is going to be 1, so square root of 43. Yeah, the same answer as this one. If you know how to use your calculator and program it to do this square root things, just do it. Take the easiest way. I mean, the purpose more for me is you understand how to do comprehend the square, because we're going to use it in the future for other problems, particular conic sections using the general form equation of a circle. But for now, even if the problem says solve it by comprehending the square, just do it the easiest way, and I'm sure the easiest way is the quadratic formula. Okay guys, see you in the next time. I will see you for the next time for the next problem. Take care. Bye bye. Social distancing. Study. Bye.